Hello, and welcome to the Learning English Fast podcast with me, your host, Eli. Thank you so much for watching or listening to me today. Today's topic, I think, is a very interesting topic that many people can relate to because this is something that almost everyone has experienced in their lives, whether they are, a boy or a girl. It doesn't really matter. Everyone, I think, has experienced this, if they have some parents. And the topic is discipline. Discipline. So, what is discipline? So, discipline is the correction of a bad behavior. Like if I hit my brother and he gets hurt. I hit my brother, I hurt him. Then my mom will say, Eli, you cannot eat ice cream today. That is discipline, a form of discipline to help me become a better person. It corrects my behavior. So, why do I want to talk about discipline today? Well, because in my life, I've had so much discipline. Maybe you had some discipline too. But my parents, they're good parents. They love me and my brothers very much, but we were not very good boys. We would fight, we would, do other bad things, and we needed discipline. We needed my parents to correct our behaviors. So I know that in other countries, the discipline is very different. And even in America, every family has different ways of disciplining their children. For my family, the way that my parents would discipline me and my brothers was by spanking. Spanking. Now, spanking is when you take like a little stick or a spoon and then you hit the butt, you know, the butt of the boy or the girl who did not listen or who did us a bad thing. Now, my parents, they never hit us so hard. There was never blood. There was never any bruise, no black and blue, but it hurt. And usually, my dad, his spanking, which was much more gentle than my mom, her spankings. And if I like hit my brother, if we got into a fight, my mom or dad gave us a spanking. If we lied or, how you say, said a bad word, then there would also be a spanking. On our wall, there was a big sign, and on the sign, there were different numbers. And for different bad things that you do, there would be a different number of spankings. If you hit a brother, that's 5 spankings. If you lie, that's like 3 spankings. So there were different levels to this discipline. And sometimes the parents, they would give me and my brothers a choice. Maybe they would say, Eli, you can choose no video games for 2 days or 10 spankings. And I would always choose the spanking. Because, video games for 2 days, for me at that time, that's a long time. But a spanking, it can be finished very, very quickly. So I always would say, I want the spanking. And sometimes my mom, she would use a spoon, or we lived in the countryside. So she would often use a little stick. And we would call this stick a switch. A switch. It's a very thin stick you can find outside. And sometimes, if we did not obey or we did something bad, my mom would say, all right, Eli, go outside, look for a switch, bring it back to me. And so I had to go outside. I look for a switch. I find a very small one. I come back. I say, here, mom. My mom says, Eli, no, that's too small. Try again. So I have to go out, find a bigger switch, bring it back. And I'm crying, oh, Mom, I'm sorry. But my parents, they never hit us. They never spank us when they're angry. They would only spank us when they feel calm. So every time got disciplined, or they gave us spankings, they would take us into the room, like my bedroom or their bedroom, and then they would say, all right, turn around. And I turn around. They take the spoon, like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, of course, we're crying, we're whining. And then after they're finished, we sit down on the bed. They say, Eli, sit right here next to me. I sit down. And then my mom or my dad, they say, Eli, do you know why we had to give you a spanking? And I said, yeah. And then my parents, they will explain. They will explain why they had to give us the spanking. And then they would always give us a hug and then say, all right, go out and play with your brothers. I love you. And they would always tell us they love us. They don't spank us because they want to. They don't spank us because it hurts us. They spank us because they want us to learn a lesson. And they want us to have a good character. They don't want us to lie. They don't want us to hit each other. They don't want us to be, like bad kids. They want us to be good kids. So they spank us, but they do it in the right way. I know some other families, when they discipline their kids, they do it when they're angry. And in my opinion, I think when you discipline your kids, you shouldn't be angry when you do it. You should be calm. And then when you discipline them, you do it with love and with calmness. So that way you don't hurt them. And they know, okay, they love me. They don't want to, but they have to. And I really respect my parents for that, actually. But how about for you guys in your country? How do they discipline? So like for your family, how did your parents discipline you, or your mom or your dad? I know some other parents have other styles. Like recently I guess, and mainly in America, I don't know about other countries, but in America, there's been this recent trend about gentle parenting. Gentle parenting. This is where you don't give them spankings or anything like that, but you really try to like understand their emotions and understand how they're feeling and what they're going through. And I think sometimes that's good, but I know kids are very smart. Children are not dumb. And I really think children need a strong role model. They need to have a strong father and a strong mother. Like, okay, this is wrong. Don't do that thing. I think that's very important for kids to have in their lives. So for the gentle parenting trend, I'm not really a big fan. I understand, but I'm not really a fan of it. Yeah, and so that's really all I have for today about discipline. Please tell me down in the comments, how do you discipline if you have kids? Or how were you disciplined when you were a child? Please tell me. I want to know your story. And also remember that in the description down below, there is a vocabulary list for words during this conversation, as well as a transcript if you want to read and follow along in today's podcast episode. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it at the beginning, but do your best. And also right now, if you want to level up your English, I have a special English course. If you would like to talk with me and, really increase your English level. Yeah, but that's really all about I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, keep doing your best in English. You can do it. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.